Hello everybody and welcome back to Fundamental Forest. Absolutely thrilled to have you, glad you could make it. In this episode, we are going to be expanding our pirate area. We've got a lot of progress on that front, which I'm really glad about. We also invite the peeps into the pirate area, which sort of drives everyone crazy, so it seems. Friend of the show, Brian Endrilzik, you should definitely go and check out his channel, because he's just full of amazing videos. He suggested that I should make the railway stations longer so we can have longer trains. So I think it's all connected up. Look, longer trains. That is what we wanted. We don't want it open though. Oh my god, that's going to ruin my life. Let's test mode. Sorry everyone. Really great episode today. I'm really excited for you guys to see the pirate ship, actually, without giving too much away. I would once again like to say a huge thank you to all the people who get involved down in the comments, who give me fresh ideas, give me like inspiration in terms of like real world examples, recommending I do particular types of roller coasters. All of this stuff goes a huge way to making sure this project can be as good as it can be. So I'm hugely thankful. Any of your comments, any of your feedback, be it on Reddit, be it on New Element, on the Discord. We love all of that, but especially in the YouTube comments, when you interact with the video, it shows YouTube that it should be showing the video to people like you, i.e. people who love Roller Coaster Tycoon or theme park games, whatever it is, who might find this beneficial. So when you do that, you are not only helping me out, you're helping someone like you out, which I think is a brilliant thing. So without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? Let's crack on. And let's tell you a bit more about this pirate ship. Big development from last we saw this area. I've been trying really hard to sketch out some of the macro of this area, maybe sketch out where we're going to have some big buildings, some nice attractions. We've got so many handymen finding their way uselessly into here. You are henceforth banished from pirate area. You know what I need to do? I need to cut off this path here. There we go. Problem solved. You're still in here. Why are there so many of you? Are there any more? I bet there is. And we've just got some outlines of buildings here. These colours are going to be more buildings, I think. I'm thinking this big area here. Maybe we can have a tracked ride in there. Maybe a haunted house sort of situation. And I was thinking of putting a haunted mansion flat ride here or something like that, really lean into the haunted harbour of it all. But I wanted to show off like a strange interaction that I just discovered, so I'll show you what it is, because it would never ordinarily come up in like regular play, if that makes sense. So we smash our track down here, I get some parallel track here, and watch this. We know that the clearances are up because clearance checks is unticked here and we can't continue building through. But isn't that strange? Just the way the hitboxes work really work out to allow us to make a cool sort of pirate ship type prow at the front here. So I think that's strange, and then maybe we can put something here, but what would we put? I don't think there is anything we can put there. Unless we want to do something like... Here's what we want, right? We want... It's in the middle of a tile. So I think what we want is maybe something like this. And make this brown. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Heavens, that's tough, isn't it? That's tough. What do we do with that? Lots to think about. It's very challenging to do with no custom scenery, but you can see the shape I'm going for, right? I have to figure out a way of having a mast here and zero clearances. Lots to consider. There's always some sort of machinery driving past. So here we are. Here's another shot at like a junior wooden coaster. I'm quite happy with this one. I like the footprint of it. The footprint feels really satisfying. So I think we might go for this one. It's very simple, very run-of-the-mill. Let's try it with wood colours. the people outside have a lot to say, and not always in languages that we understand. That's something, isn't it? Good for the little uns. Nice and steady. What do we think of that? Obviously the positioning will change. Let's prove this point now. Save track design. Junior Woody 2. And then what we can do is we can flip it maybe. Maybe do something a bit like that, but then we'll have to move a lot of land. Because it does go down quite low, as you can see. So maybe that's something we want to do. Or maybe have it like the other way around, like that. Is that crazy? Is that crazy? Very interesting. So we'll have to mark out where we want the dip in track to be. I wonder if we can get it going over this footpath or something like that. That could be fun. Oh, you know, it would rip if it was there like that. Like it bowled inside this area on the left-hand side there. Let's just drop it there for now. Because how much clearance do we have on that? Is it like loads of clearance? Can we hypothetically? So many noises outside. I'm so sorry, guys. Does this hit the ground here? Someone's doing a big whistle outside. Good for them. Very good, sir. You are very skilled at the big whistle. The big whistle for the benefit of thine friends. I kind of want it to be framed by this. That's crazy. That goes. So that'll head over to this. Maybe I'll do it like this so I can see more clearly what I want to do. And then this goes underneath here. Oh, yo, it fits completely underneath there. Let's see what this is. Flatbed. Flatbed with nothing on it. Good for them. Oops. I think that's definitely for the best, though. Because I feel like we could do something a bit more interesting than that junior coaster with this area. I feel like it does block off this corner. So I'm thinking, let's leave that to brew a little bit more. Let's see what other ideas we can come up with. Hopefully something that doesn't quite so much build us into this corner. Let's have a look what we've been doing in Spooky Pirate area. Hey, would you look at this? We've moved some of these buildings that we brewed up earlier, that we were experimenting with, and we've popped them in situ in a place that could be quite permanent. I think that this looks really quite cool, and I'm quite happy with it. I think there's a little bit of development we can do on this building maybe, but I've got to remember it's Fundamental Forest. Not everything has to be perfect. We're not building the highest scoring park ever. We're trying to apply our fundamental skills, and I think we've done that well quite here. We've made a little corner part for when you come in, and from this direction, so from this angle you see this lovely stuff, and then from this angle you see the creep of Coven Cove. Yes, we've built a haunted mansion ride. We've managed to populate this area with rides pretty effectively so far. I don't know whether we need more rides in this area as it stands. We're going to have a water ride as well, but I'm not quite sure where the water ride's going to factor in. I'll just show you what else is going on. So this, I want this to it is how it looks. It's a ghost train ride. It's going to be themed to piratey and that sort of stuff. I feel like there's something inherently... Ghosts and pirates go really well together because of like the ghost ship like mythology that comes along with pirate stuff. So I thought I'd have that sort of thing. If we look over here, I've been experimenting with this boat a little bit. It's looking pretty cool, isn't it? Pretty cool for no hacks and stuff like that. This sail needs to be bigger, doesn't it? I wonder if we can do that now. So is this the right spot? I feel like it is. And then we can grab this Do we want to put it there, or do we want to make it maybe a bit higher? Let's just do it here for now. And then, of course, we could do this. Isn't this crazy to think that this is just part of the game? This isn't even a hack. You can just do this. It costs $0. Let's do the same thing here. Is this the right... I believe it is. Look at us. We're geniuses. And then we can do this, raise that water again. As you can see, we've got the observation tower as the mast of the ship, and you can't really see the hole that it's left. And if we grab this, we won't be able to build one any lower than that. The next lowest one is underneath that. But what we can do to fill the gap is just go to the other side, go like this. Hey, would you look at that? Easy peasy. You can kind of see through it a little bit, but that's kind of okay as well. Should we make this wider than that? Should we like make this stick kind of like that? Who knows? I feel like we should make the mast maybe a bit taller as well, because that will make us feel better, I think, ultimately. And then we can go like this. And maybe have a bit of rigging as well. Hey, that's a bit of fun, isn't it? I'm not sure about the rigging that we've got on the sides, of course. It looks a bit... just looks a bit too thick as it stands right now, but we could change it. So that's looking pirate shippy. I wonder if we should take this entire sail and drop it down some more. Or do we need it to be this high? God, I know nothing about pirate ships. But it's never really affected my life before now, so maybe we'll do a bit of pirate ship research and come back to it. But let's look at the broad area as it stands right now. We've got our access to water down here, and along here of course, we've got to have the swinging inverter ships we were discussing. I wanted to, on video, just develop this area with you guys, but before we do that, just want to show the plunge. We're going to have a water ride. I'm thinking of making more of this up here, water, and then having this part be the main splash area of perhaps a more headline water ride. Because we could have a supporting water ride that is more like weaving in and out of the coaster, but I think maybe we could even have this area under here as the entrance to the water ride, but that doesn't... we may as well have an entrance to a water ride like over here, right? Let's just like, whoops, like just pen out like a, like, because we could have the entrance to the water ride like here and sacrifice more of this over to water, but I think we should allow that to grow from what we actually build with the water ride. So we could do like a big old splash boats. I kind of, something that would be really nice is if we had drops that complemented maybe this drop here or this area here where it comes and does the splashy flyover across the top of the water, maybe getting your knees a bit wet. Should have a sign at the front of the ride situation that says, "Do not ride if you don't want wet knees." That would be baffling to read. That would like probably give you a headache if you read that on like a sign outside of a roller coaster. And I don't know whether I've talked about this on camera, but I've connived this roof here so that we can get the context of the entrance to the coaster without chopping anything off. And in terms of this stuff here, I've managed to squeeze this in such a way so that over the top of this structure you'll be able to see this leap out of here. So it's all about, we want to create something that's really dense. We've said this, but we want to make sure that it's still accessible to the viewer and all of the density contributes to a vibe without sacrificing any of the readability. I feel like that's a huge skill that we're going to be sharing with one another as we continue building this. So yeah, let's redevelop this a bit. I think the main thing that we need to do here is move them over at least one to give ourselves bit more room. And then I was thinking along here, right? We definitely want a dock area. So I'm thinking of sending these queues. Remember, we can't build directly under the swinging part unless we go a bit lower, but then we'd be in the water. So I'm thinking we just forego that for the most part. And let's lift this up a little. And maybe we can leave that as it is. What I want to know is how we're getting the exit paths out. But let's concentrate on what we are supposed to be concentrating on, which is the queue lines. I'm thinking under here now, does it fit for us to have these? Oh, you're joking. You are joking me. We have to go all the way up there. You mock me, sir. You mock me. So what are the... I wish all in the same place we had all of the water features. Because this guy's certainly too tall, right? Then we got this thing, geometric fellow. Geometric's kind of cute, isn't it? And then we got Dolphin. We got Mr. Dolphin himself. He's too tall. You're taking the absolute mickey. So maybe what we do is we... Hey, this could be cool. We go sort of like this. And we zig and we zag. Whoops, we do the opposite of that. That ain't zigging or zagging. You fraud. So let's just get these queues down just so we can see what we're on about here. So we go like this. And I want for the queues to be... I want the queues to meet in the middle. It's as simple as that. But maybe we could have them slightly further apart. They could be like this. And they could be, and then you could look down the middle to what's going on here, or you could sort of do this. And let's go ahead and I think I want to do the docks in this sort of wood. So we can vary it up quite easily by doing some like that, and then some like this, and then maybe even some with this. But we'll see what happens there. So do we want it to be like that, or do we perhaps want it to be like that? I think there's something to that, especially if we use that space effectively to maybe like, we can put like a sign here, not too high. That feels good like that. And then of course we can add in whoosh. And then we can put these on test mode. That's the best bit. We can test these out. So those guys are swinging. That feels good like that, doesn't it? But I feel like we're not going to be happy until we've sort of developed this dock area a little bit more. So I wonder if we sort of do a bit more of this. So I feel like something that goes really well with pirates is obviously like the sand beach. But I also think that the jagged rock work, it would be a bit of a missed opportunity to not do that. So I think I'm going to come through and give all of this just this flavour. Yes, I like that. And then underneath here, we could even get away with the rock wall. Someone referred to this as spooky rocks. Is it in the spooky? It is! Oh my goodness, is this the spooky or the creepy? Spooky themey, it is the spooky rocks. Well, there you go. And I think in the part where we can't build... Hello? Are you taking the Michael? I feel bereft of my Michaels as we speak. Oh, it is a little bit too tall, isn't it? What about this guy? This will be hitbox heaven if it fits. No, it doesn't. So it looks like we're going the old-fashioned way on this one. We're doing this old style. So let's just go like that. And I think at the sides... Oh, we're gonna do dolphins. Or is dolphins too much? I fear dolphins is a bridge too far, is a porpoise too far. There's no legal requirement to declare where we're going to put them right now. I really like what we've done with that. This will be a memorable moment for people, I think. But the fact of the matter is, what are we going to do with these docks? That doesn't really feel like a fact of the matter, though. What was I trying to say there? I guess the question remains. Let's instead say the question remains. What on earth are we going to do with these docks? Because in terms of, like, staging the eye lines and whatnot, when we are approaching this, we're approaching from this direction, right? We're going la 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 la, we head down here and we'd head hypothetically to any dock situation we have here. And then we'd arrive at this section and then we'd have to like turn back on ourselves to see the rides. And what I always try and do is have the ride entrance have a path that leads up to it, even if there are other major paths that lead side on, because the fact that there's a path leading up to it means that there's going to be an eye line implying you should be looking that way. If we were less confident, we might say, oh, we should get rid of this path because we only want for this to be that dominant angle. But you're always going to have sub-angles and stuff, so it's all about how you negotiate with the cards that you have in your hand. And I think we've done something very powerful with what we have here, so I'm really happy with that. So what we need to do is connive a way to make that true of this as well. And what that might mean is maybe, so one of the things I was thinking was maybe just like making like an island out here, and it can just be a rocky island here, and having something to like pull the view. Like, the problem is that docks are, typically speaking, they are just straight, apart from when they are, for example, like hugging a shoreline. But I wonder if we can do something like this and then sort of go like this. So let's just experiment with this. So already with that, we've created an angle here, which helps us out quite substantially. But I feel like maybe something we could do is we could take this, rotate it 90 degrees, and take this, we'll just go bloop, and we'll copy that, and we'll instead place it bloop on this angle here, so that they can just walk straight up to it. Because having it go out and then back in is a little bit awkward, but it depends whether we think that that awkwardness is so significant so as to kind of ruin our day. So that's one way to think about that. That's a tricky one, isn't it? I like the sort of bay that we've got here. So what I'm thinking is maybe rotating it 90 degrees and plopping it here. We just scoot it out a little bit, and we just go plop, we just pop it there. Because then we can have this come down a bit more. We can go zoop and swing a path down along this, which will terrace quite nicely. Terracing is something that's very evocative as well. Having multiple layers to your paths can be something that's very... It's sort of the same thing that we were trying to explore. I don't know why this particular area is so busy. Everyone's quite happy about stuff. So that's nice. But anyway, we have terracing here where we've got this having a layer separation here. And terracing here, obviously. God, these guys are crazy. We've got like 3,000 guests, and I feel like that's too many. I have no idea how we have 3,000 or how it is we're sustaining that. But anyway, those are the ideas that I have for that. I'll redevelop this. I'll basically copy and paste this, but manually. And then I'll rejoin you, I think. Can you see what I was getting at? Is this all starting to make sense? I've done... You've kind of got to be careful with this. This is like a style that was referred to on New Element as jagged rocks. And a lot of the time, jagged rocks were very like aggressive, but I think used subtly, they can be very effective at sort of evoking a atmosphere of like danger, which I think we've done quite well here, and it doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. The thing that will be complicated, though, is how we're going to route the exit path. I didn't really think this through. When it was over here, it was trivial. You just go behind and you go up to the paths that are over here. That's fine. But now that we've pushed it out to sea, and now we've christened it Shipwrecker. Do this with capital R here. So we've got Shipwrecker L and Shipwrecker R. Now that they're out at sea, it's a bit less trivial, the task of getting them back to shore, but I feel like it will ultimately be fine. But we're going to discover that together, I think. Or rather, I'm going to discover that alone, because it's probably going to be boring. It'll be boring. But yeah, now when we head toward it, and let's build this together as well, seeing as we're here. And I don't really have a concrete plan of what it is we're doing here. So we'll just sort of take a vibes-based approach and just try and get a path down here. And sort of see what happens. I kind of want to be approaching it with the idea that we go straight into this part here. I wonder how we do that then. I think we do it like this, right? And then we maybe just do a little bit of this. So instead of going more along there, we do a bit of a zig and a zag, so to speak. And then we can even bring that down a bit more, right? Hypothetically. He says, not really knowing. But if you don't experiment, you don't discover those things that work, do you? You're just stuck with the stuff that doesn't. So let's maybe even do a bit of this, right? Then it can zig, and then it can zag, and then it can go down. Let's give it a bit more of this. I'm not like fully in love with that. Maybe we should like skinny this up a bit like that. And then that gives us a bit more wiggle room to be a bit more creative. Let's just go like this, because what we're trying to do is keep it like this. That's cool, innit? And then we could maybe have like a building here which houses a bit of this coming down. It comes out of the building, it goes, and then even this part here is a opportunity to send the eye down here, and this corner here where it's turning this way is an opportunity to send eyes in that direction. I'd maybe, like, if we were to go like 100% into it, I think this fires us more out at a 45, but having this angle here definitely doesn't hurt at all. Yeah. Hey, look at that. This planning goes a long way, guys, doesn't it? And then when you're sitting there, you're doing your planning, redevelop your ideas a bit more, because we found a better idea here. We're still figuring out the nuts and bolts, but once you have a strong idea, take another swing at it. This wasn't the first draft of this. You know, we took out the shooting game here because it wasn't quite working the way we wanted to. We did 1,000,000 drafts of this. We did 1,000,000 drafts of this as well. Every idea is an opportunity to redevelop and to try it again and to take the idea, retain those things which made you go, ooh, that's a good idea, and add different good ideas to it until you've found that composition that really works for you. Alrighty, I've got a quick 30 or so minutes before I've got to head out, so I thought, why not be productive in those 30 minutes? Because I'm usually so unproductive. So what we have here is our haunted house, our ghost train, and I'm just trying to give it some interesting stuff, to be honest. Now, these are in the fence section, but they're definitely walls. They're certainly walls. They're definitely not fences. But they're in here anyway, so I'm wondering what can we use to sort of top this, like, greenhouse window I'm trying to do here. Is that terrible? Yeah. It's not quite the right vibe. If we go one taller, it just doesn't feel right. Right. And there's going to be a little gap at the top. Though I suppose there are worse things than a little gap. I think we just go for old reliable. This fence, clean, reliable, always gets the job done. And then we can come back and retrofit. Now the glass wall is here, and it does have a little small one. So what we can do is we can grab the fence. I guess we could have done the fence, but then we would have needed something to interact with the fence to make it, to like finish the effect, and ain't nobody got time for that. So let's plop them there. Job's a good one. What do we want? What do we want? What do we want along the bottom of here? Now I was thinking, because this is like a greenhouse sort of implied situation here, so maybe should we carry it on around the side as well and have this as like a completely greenhouse thing? I think that could be fun, couldn't it? Or a conservatory. Then we see that whizzing by, and I was thinking we could put underneath it, we could put plants and stuff for like an interesting view as we watch them whiz by, and then underneath this part we'll just have, again, they're in the fences section. Come on, Chris Sawyer, that's got to be a mistake, right? And then we'll just quickly fill this in, and we can develop it at a later moment. I don't think this is going to mess anything up if we do this. This is just the ground that was here before, so it's not special or specific to what we're doing. Yeah, I quite like that, actually. So now we can come through and just grab, I suppose, like any kind of wall to go down the bottom there. Over here, I did use just regular castle wall, but maybe we can get, instead of doing this kind of wall, we could do a grey wall instead, because we've got grey castle stuff to add to the haunted feeling. So this section has become rather eldritch as time's gone on. And that's what I like about it. You can't really see any others on account of the decorations we've put over there. Oh yeah, I'll let peeps into this section as well. It remains to be seen whether that was a huge error, an error of judgment on my part. But as it stands right now, I just wanted to see... What did I want to see? Why did I do it? It feels like a bad idea, like, upon reflection. I guess I just wanted to see if they'd go on it, I suppose. But that, of course they were going to go on it. Oh, what I wanted to see... Right. If we look here, I changed it so that there's this... There used to be breaks here, then a small turn that came around here. But I thought it would be good if there was like a fast section at the end. So I changed it to have no breaks and completely flat. And I tested it without peeps, and it worked fine. But then I remembered, oh, it's actually a completely different story when it comes to, like peeps, because peeps have mass, right? So if they're too heavy, they will fly off the tracks if it goes too fast. But I think we've got quite a lot of headroom on these wide pieces, where you have basically no headroom on the small ones. So I think we could go quite a bit faster on this turn, than it would still be fine. So I'm confident that we're not going to have any casualties in that regard. So yeah, it's quite a nice vibe there, having the greenhouse feeling. And I wonder if for this part here we could maybe have this as a balcony and have it go in a little bit. Is that possible? No, I don't think it is it? So it can't go... This is just completely in the way. But maybe we could have... Alright, let me cook. And then we have... We'll just do... Keep it real simple. That's the trick, really. You just got to keep it simple. And roll with the punches. And you should be fine. So let's grab this. Let's delete these really quickly. Go through like this. Grab this wall. Put it... Hello. There we go. Put it like that. And then what? Huh? And then we grab this. No, we're thinking we can just meet straight across here like this. You've got to be kidding me. Where is it? You've got to be kidding me. It's broken down. What a nightmare. The mechanic better be on there. Let's find him. Where are you? That is absurd. I wonder how long that's been broken down for. Hold on, there's a guy that should be sorting that. Why isn't he? Alright, you're annoying. Are you from over here? Right, you go there. Why on earth are you doing that when the guy whose job it is isn't doing it? Okay. Huh, guess we're troubleshooting on the job here. So let's... Where were we? We were here. So this is a little balcony that's going over the top, but we can't build a wall here. Does this go down more? Ah, the train is underneath there. The train! So I guess we can do this. Got that song in my head. Can we get it in the right spot? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. And then if we just do this, we'll just be able to see it. And then, was it far enough away that it didn't delete it? Yes, it was. Groovy, baby. And to that we say groovy, baby. So we can't do that there, so we'll do that. And we'll do a little bit of this here. What the heck? So I guess we just made a discovery there that the B button is right next to the V button. I don't know how that's never happened to me before. The main trick is believing in yourself, guys. What do I always say? Have faith in your own abilities. Then we can do this, we can do this. It's going to be so funny if I do the same thing again. I'm just acknowledging that. I'm not going to do it, but I just want it to be known that if I do the exact same thing again, it would be hilarious. And then I think we want a door here, don't we? Is there like a maximum speed that a door can be taken by these things? Nice. Let's go with that. I think it could be better, obviously, but we can spend a long time saying things could be better. Time that could be spent making them better. Because I can't put a door here. I guess I could put a door on the inside, but that's not really the same effect, really, is it? And now there's a tower on top of this part where it comes flying out of. Is that awesome, or does that suck? Let's look at the fences. Should we do this kind of situation along here? Or should we leave it a bit more visible? There's like a full-on gap in between those two walls. That's a bit rubbish, isn't it? Should we get a spooky tree in there? I don't think any... Ooh, this one fits, but I think we should do a dead tree. Yes. And then we can change this to muddy. Because not only is it spooky, it's also autumn. And we can go like this. Are we doing this for the benefit of the person coming out here? Because we can definitely do that, can't we? Okay, that rules. We could also do a spooky fence as well. We could follow the guidelines as laid out by the man himself, Brian Angelzik. Show me that spooky fence. And then if we do this, and voila! Got a good mix of like pirate and regular castle and stuff there, don't we? So if we redevelop this situation here and go like this, maybe do that and then have that sort of situation there. I don't like the bug where they get stuck open. Is this going to shut for us now? Nope. Ain't nothing we can do about that. And then inside here we can have like maybe some like carnivorous plants or something. Where are they? Are they in the dinosaur theming? They're in the... Yeah, we could definitely have a... You are taking the mickey. They are always taking the mickey. I have a little baby one here. And we will know that the baby plants are out to get them. It's fully poking out through the window. But that's alright. I wonder what it looks like when it opens up. It looks like nothing. That's what it looks like. Okay, let's restore this path here. And then what we must do is see what kind of fence situation we can get going. It was in the right spot then, wasn't it? There we go. I wonder if we can get... Oh, it was there. And then it doesn't fit. But I think we can do it in another spot to help it out. It's a little bit wonky, but... do that one all in the right spot. And you can't actually see that corner, so maybe we can just... No, that one doesn't fit, does it? Let's just... Oh, too many fences in that particular area. But that's okay, you can't really see it when we zoom out. You can't tell that that's a little bit wonky. And that's given it a little bit of interest there, hasn't it? Hey, that's fun, you know, and that's just off the dome. That is off the dome, as we say in the business. For the texture that we want to see through the window, I think we'll just do that. It's not even for excitement. Truly, all in all, a complete waste of time, but it is fun, isn't it? So, reflecting on what we said last time about making like significant angles for entrance areas for rides and stuff, that is something that you don't have to mind as much about non-headline rides. That's definitely something you should like form your macro around for like big rides and big thrill rides and stuff. But for like a haunted house like this, you can have this be, you walk past it, you see it, and you want to go in. I think that's completely acceptable. It's completely reasonable to have like a hierarchy of importance for your rides and treat different rides differently. Interesting. So this side's going to be the interesting part. The problem is it still has to be stimulating because you're going to be looking from this angle to get like this interaction here. This coaster's really grown on me. I'm really liking this particular angle now. We're going to have to work to make this really work in our best interest here, because that swoop around there is going to be so thrilling for the people who are even looking over at this part and the people on it, obviously. The closest thing we have to a wheel for the pirate ship is this thing. I'm not sure how good a job it does of communicating the fact that it's a steering wheel, but we can handle it for now. I think there's more we can do here. Well, there's obviously more we can do. Look at the darn thing. Let's get a floor going in here, and I'm aware that it's gonna mess up what we've already put in. That's quite alright, because we're right here to fix it all. So we just need... So we're probably not going to do this, right? We'll probably do something a bit more planky than that. We'll grab the other side as well. Nice little voice crack for all of you there. Hope you're happy. Let's see if we can do this. It appears we can, so if we go like that, we can do the same on the other side, can't we? This could be the right spot. I'm a sniper. And then we just need to do this all the way back down. Same with this. Wow, and it's all still water as well. Did this block here? Yes. So if we do this, right, and then we do... Ah! Amazing. So if we do that, it gets rid of the supports that we want rid of. And it kind of looks nice as well. Eesh. Well, none of the rest of it's perfect. It looks good from this angle though, doesn't it? And then we just need to get the other triangles in there as well. That's definitely better than it was. We've still got these fences here, but I think in some situations you just take what you can get and you say thank you for it. You know what? This actually kind of rips for an NCSO pirate ship, doesn't it? I think we've done a good job there. I don't think we need anything more than some random stuff in here, to be honest, because we just need to break the texture a little bit. Interesting. Have I got 0 clearances on, or is this just a traitorous object? Okay. So again, build order is important. This looks like a pirate ship. I'm not being funny, I kind of didn't expect it to look so much like a pirate ship when I started. Well, there we go, there's a little crane thing. I feel like that works a little better for our needs. But the thing that's sort of preying on my mind right now is, should we flip the ship around like 180 degrees? Do we want the ship to give its favourable angle in this direction to people who are like walking this way, or do we want it to give a favourable angle from this direction so it's like viewable from the castle and stuff? I think this one's better, but in terms of like getting the screenshot or something, then we want it to be this direction. So at this point we're caught between us as viewing it in-game, that angle, versus the guests' viewing angle. So the players versus the guests' viewing angle. And it's a tough circle to square because both of them are important, right? Just found something else cool. Let's do the last one together. Is that the right position? And we grab this and we go. Ka-chow. There's always a lorry that needs to go by the second I start recording. That's giving it a bit more curvature. Curvature where it counts, baby. This pirate ship is actually ripping. I did not anticipate that we'd get one that's this good with no custom scenery and no hacks, more importantly, because people have done a lot of really great pirate ships without custom scenery, but without any hacks at all. We've had to use a lot of our fence trick to get the most out of every single thing that we can. Should we replace all of these fences up here, guys? I thought maybe this fence would be nice, but I think maybe it's a bit much. And I wonder, maybe, should we make like this fence? Should we make it like gold or something? Let's make it this colour. To be like, yar, we're very rich in terms of pirate ship plundering and whatnot. And the diagonal fence remains an annoyance, so maybe we should just leave that for now and tackle it at a different moment. But all in all, the vision that's coming through now is really, really appealing for me. Maybe we should get like a bit of scenery on here, a bit of like seaweed-esque nonsense going on down here. It's just seaweed, guys. There's no need to be afraid. Oh my goodness, look at people flooding in this direction from everywhere now that they've figured out how to get in this direction. Got the plunge over here, we've got Call of the Depths. I've just opened up. Whoa! Look at them. Good heavens, look at that. At least they're all politely queuing. They're not like pushing past each other or anything. So we got that going for us. Anyway, there we are. We've opened up this section. We're letting the peeps run wild. I'm surprised more aren't going towards the shipwrecker twins. But maybe they'll figure that out. They really want to go on Call of the Depths. You're kidding. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. And now they're peep jammed here. But now people are making their way over to the plunge, so that's nice. Should we complete this little part over here? Should we just complete the circuit of path? All right, there we go. We've got a little bit of a loop round here. I'm not sure whether that loop is going to remain like that forever, but there we go. So there we have it, guys. We've done some really awesome stuff this episode. I've really loved the way that especially this little shorefront area has developed this episode. We did our awesome haunted mansion ride. I'm thinking, give me some ideas of how we could improve this, I think, because right now, like, we've got this part which is really popping off. I think we need to improve this bit at the front, but all this can be done in time, right? It's all a journey. We're always developing. I really love the fact that we've moved these buildings over here. This is a big victory in my eyes. Getting all this open to peeps as well. Awesome. Still very confused about the marching ants over here. What are you doing and what do you want? Why do you all want to be over here so badly? It's too crowded here. Yeah, I bet it is. But with that well in hand, I will love you and leave you. As always, guys, your likes, your comments go a huge way to exposing this video to people who might find it really useful. So any comments that you give I love them. That's why I reply to all of them. I just love the fact that you're coming in here, you're chatting, you've got opinions. They're helping me because it was someone's suggestion that brought us this pirate area. And it was someone's suggestion that made me go, like Vekoma flying coaster. So the stuff that you say clearly influences what we're going to be doing. So any ideas you've got, guys? It might spark a synapse in my head. I know that some people have been mentioning we want inverted coasters. That's definitely going to be coming up. I don't know whether we're going to do that next episode. I think we want to carry on maybe doing some finishing touches to our pirate area, finishing touches to getting the peep stuff a bit better, because we're always losing park rating from litter, basically. We need bins everywhere. We need benches. We want to create more like seating areas for like restaurants and stuff. I'm thinking this area, maybe a restaurant could be really good. Where are we going to put one otherwise? I tried to make a water coaster over here. Not a water coaster, I'm sorry. To do a splash boat, but it wasn't quite coming together. So I'm excited to keep hammering away at that. And remember, guys, we still need to develop our... This looks really lonely in comparison because it's so like spacious and spread out in this section. I really love that we're going to be able to come through here and give it the same treatment that it has over here, but with less density. It's more airy. There's loads more room to breathe, which is in keeping with the theme there. But that is all in the future. What we're worrying about is the now, guys. And right now, you guys are going to enjoy your week, and I'm going to see you next Saturday. Lots of love.